Okay, so welcome back, and welcome especially to the people that have joined us over lunch who weren't here for Jonathan's session this morning. And in particular, I'd like to welcome Paul Crisp from Cure Limited, Centre for the Use of Research Evidence in Education, who's joining us. And to thank Jonathan San Diego very much for very useful, informative, interactive hands-on this morning with the Interact computer-assisted qualitative data analysis system software. So now we have an afternoon of activities, starting with a talk from myself in which I'd like to share some sort of top-down thoughts about technology-enhanced research in TEL, and then a program of breakout discussions, and then a hardware demonstration and another activity which I'll describe towards the end of my talk. And I've got a timetable for your reference here to give out, so you'll know exactly where you need to be and when. So this talk I've entitled Technology-Enhanced TEL Research, Incremental Evolutions and Paradigm-Shifting Revolutions. And a bit of background about me. My background is in psychology, education, and AI. And I worked in Melbourne for a while at RMIT and was seconded to an educational research and development unit there. I have worked at Reading, York. I was based in Edinburgh before Sussex, but at the moment I'm at Sussex. And I teach courses like psych methods for system evaluation at postgraduate level, research methods sorts of courses, amongst other things. So it's an interest of mine and something I teach. My research interests are obviously in TEL, diagrammatic reasoning, clinical reasoning, and vicarious learning, innovative modes of learning that relate to diagrams and to TEL. The history of TEL, as you know, started with the TLRP Teaching Learning Research program, which was a broad program with a couple of, well, 2 or 3 TEL projects in it, but essentially not TEL. And it had 3 phases. And I had a project in the 3rd phase, a project called Vicarious Learning. And that finished towards the end of 2007. It overran a little while. And when the TLRP project finished, the 2 research councils, EPSRC, ESRC, then committed to a post-TLRP program, which is the TEL program that you're all involved with now. That was in 2005. To put together the call for research proposals and to disseminate information, to go on the road and give briefing meetings, Andrew Pollard and Richard Noss put together what they called the E-team, which consisted of Andrew Pollard himself, Diana Laurillard, Josie Taylor, Lydia Plowman, and myself. And we developed the second call that you all made successful bids to, and did the briefing meetings and put a wiki together and generally tried to support the call process. As TEL got underway, I spoke with Richard, and he sort of shared my view that technology-enhanced research was important enough to warrant the creation of a thematic strand. And so I was charged with kind of heading that, and we started off with a survey of what the projects thought the technology-enhanced research issues were, and a report on that was written up. There's a printed copy in your packs there. And the issues that emerged out of that are some of the ones that we want to address in the workshop and that I want to talk about now. So that's the sort of history of how I fit into TEL and the previous TLRP project. And I'm currently a member of the advisory group for the TEL program, as well as involved with the thematic group. So this is the URL for the thematic group for technology-enhanced research. And from the survey, there emerged two sort of dominant themes, really. One was in the area of the workshop this morning that Jonathan ran on using computer-assisted qualitative data analysis systems like Interact and many others, and especially with respect to video data and triangulating video data with transcribed discourse, dialogue, or other verbal content, for example, that's emanating from the projects as they get into their data collection phases. So that was one theme that came out recurrently across the projects. And the other one, I must admit I was surprised, a little bit surprised, I wasn't very surprised, a little bit surprised that so many ethical aspects came out as well to do with the notion of withholding what are believed to be good interventions from comparison or control groups in experimental design sort of studies. The concerns about the mild deceit that's involved perhaps with Wizard of Oz methods, where a human is substituted for the not yet built intelligent system to do the pilot and implement the design phase work. And a lot of issues around the ever increasing subtleties and layers of informed consent from caregivers and lots of people involved around the child participants of research interest in schools. And I won't talk much about that because John Gardner and Vic Lally will be talking about that tomorrow. So I'll mainly stick to the non-ethics TER themes today. So I think you'd all agree that technology can often enhance, augment, and incrementally improve research methods compared to traditional approaches. But often the contribution that technology-enhanced research makes might be thought of as incremental rather than revolutionary. So as an example of an incremental advance through technology in research, I'd identify, say, for example, online survey systems like the Bristol Online Survey System or the SurveyMonkey system, where they're a big improvement on traditional questionnaires in that you can build in logic into the online questionnaire so that all respondents don't have to answer all questions, that jumps to subsequent questions can be contingent on particular responses to earlier questions, that you can enforce responses to particular questionnaire items and not allow the person to progress through the questionnaire if they don't respond, and so forth. But essentially, it's a very similar update and technological refinement of the old approach, namely the paper and pencil survey questionnaire that you would distribute and collect back and then score. So that's an example of technology-enhanced research that I would call incremental or evolutionary rather than radically paradigm-changing. But I think it's possible to be more innovative. It's possible to find examples that are a lot more innovative as examples of technology-enhanced research. And it's really one of the sort of outcomes of this workshop I would hope for is that the projects start to think more in terms of the innovation aspect or end of the continuum rather than the incremental end when it comes to making the technology exploited in the research as innovative as the technology that all the projects are exploiting in the teaching and learning.